Yo people, welcome back to RonsTechHub. And in this one, I'm going to be looking at Loki Season 1, Episode 2. Let's jump into this one. This episode starts off by sending the TVA members back into the past. They're in the 1980s at what seems to be like a fun fair. They're then attacked by evil Loki and one of them is kidnapped. The rest of them are killed and one person is kidnapped. Just before this happens though, we do see one of the unique abilities of whoever this person or whoever this Loki is. They actually manage to take control of the same TVA member who's then kidnapped later on. Next, we see Loki fitting in quite well at the TVA, where he's actually sat at a desk communicating with some form of AI hologram looking thing. And he even goes ahead to try and hit the thing, and it's jumping around saying, "What's your manners, Loki? Why would you even try to hit me?" It gets upset, jumps back into its computer shell, and here is where Agent Mobius comes in, and they both go ahead to start the mission. Loki, Agent Mobius, and the rest of the TVA members, they actually get ready and they go to the 1980s where the previous Loki, or whoever's working for that version of Loki, just kill the other TVA members and kidnap the individual. So they're all here, they go inside to investigate, and Loki makes some long-winded speech about how this is a trap and the other Loki wants to be chased and wants them to go off course, let's say. But Agent Mobius eventually deciphers Loki's lies and decides, okay, we're not going to listen to this guy, he's lying, let's make a move out. And as they do, they left and they destroyed that timeline, I guess. Alright, so I'm going to jump quite a bit ahead now because I believe that a large portion of this episode was the interactions between Loki and Agent Mobius, and also Loki researching and learning and proving his wit, let's say. So we have them just having general chit chat, trying to understand each other, trying to understand. Loki's trying to understand how could Agent Mobius believe in three lizards controlling time and deleting what they see fit. And then Mobius flips it on him and was like, well, you're a frost giant and you were raised by the king of Asgard, who is a god essentially. And he's like, so they're both throwing back and forth these comments about how unrealistic each person's world sounds, but they eventually crack the case when Loki says something and Mobius is like, you are a genius, and Loki was like, yeah, obviously I know that, that's fine. They managed to track down the other version of Loki, who is in some shopping mall somewhere in the future in 2050, I believe. They also get their asses handed to them because this version of Loki is still able to control other people, and this Loki gets beaten up, the TVA members get separated, chaos ensues, right? But at the end of the episode, what happens is Loki, the one we know, the one we're following, has a choice to make, because the other Loki, who we do find out is a female version of Loki, by the way, so spoiler there, steps into a teleportation thing that takes her somewhere. Loki has a choice to follow or to stay where he is, and he actually jumps into the time transportation, whatever thing is, right? The thing they step out of to go between universes and times. Now, I have two theories here. I theorize that our version of Loki that we're following is going there to try and learn, understand, and take control of whatever that female Loki is doing, or the version of Loki that we're following is simply trying to kill that version of Loki. I don't think it's the latter because, as I said in my episode 1 overview stroke review, I think this version of Loki is on some fast track redemption course, and somehow he's going to be either added back to the main MCU timeline or just added to a timeline. So that's why I think he's not going to do anything bad yet. He's going to have to make real bad choices at some point in the future, but not yet. Now, I don't think this episode offered much in terms of action, mystery, trickery from Loki. But what I do think it offered was a lot of depth to Loki's character. Right, so Loki's character, has always been seen as the trickster god. He's always been the person who people don't trust. But here, I do believe Agent Mobius is beginning to trust Loki. However, at the end of the episode, he kind of defeats that trust or belittles that trust. But again, my theory, I think, is going to stand up. He is going there to do some form of good whilst learning from the other version of Loki. I think it's too early for them to have a showdown. There will be a showdown at some point between either the two Lokis or this version of Loki that we're following and whoever the other Loki is working for, if she's working for someone else. I actually have another theory as well. And this other theory is that at some point, either mid-season or towards the end of the season, the TVA, the Time Variance Authority, and the Three Lizards are going to be seen as the bad guys. Because when you look into it, what they actually do is go into someone's universe or timeline and delete everything and kill everyone because they deem it fit to do so. Now, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that sounds to me like those are the bad guys. It might not be obvious on the surface now because it seems as if they're trying to prevent the war, but the way they're trying to do it is not the most humane way possible. They're actually killing billions or millions of people every time they do this. They're destroying a timeline as far as I'm aware. So far, I think the series was very good. Episode 1 was a really good start. This episode was a lot slower, but as I've said, this is playing into that world building and that character building of Loki, Agent Morbius, and the other TVA members that keep popping up. For example, Agent Morbius's boss and that lady he works with in the field. I do see this going in a positive direction. It has slowed down a lot in episode 2. Episode 1 was a really good, really action-filled, very funny start. I do still think that that person from episode 1 that Loki said he was going to gut like a fish, I do think he's going to play a big role in Loki when he's at the TVA, or he's going to keep popping up because he popped up here in this episode briefly as well. I do think the relationship between Loki and that lady who had the collar around his neck in episode 1 is going to improve. Loki is going to be trusted by the TVA because I do think they're going to either capture him or catch up to him at some point, and he's going to have to maybe prove himself again that he went off not because he wanted to escape, but because he was trying to get some valuable information. Yeah, so guys, I'm still working on the formula for this show. I do appreciate you guys watching. Please do like, comment, subscribe, share. Hopefully I'll manage to keep up with what's going on the show. Hopefully I'll be giving good predictions and you guys can go back and say, wow, King Boss said this, you know. But alright guys, thank you for watching. Again, peace.